the communication networks, everything. We are
Sure.
one world community.
Sure.
And we really have got to figure out this way to organize ourselves as a planetary community that's not a dictatorship and it's not controlled by the corporations. But I always get a little nervous around the one world government kind of energy, because it seems to me that there's a part of that that doesn't recognize the reality that we really are a one world community.
Sure.
And we do need, instead of just say we can't have a one world government and all that, frankly, I think we're going to have to. Let's get into conversations about what kind we want to have.
Well, absolutely.
Not whether we're going to have it or not.
Yeah.
And also, but also I want to counterpoint that with my business, by the way, is I deliver local and organic food to people's
Sure.
homes. And I do that and I focus on that because the local economy is the complete source of trust
That's
and
absolutely right.
and integrity back into our food system and into our business system. So you may hear what I've just said as two opposite things, but it's a dichotomy that we must resolve.
Sure.
And not jump on one side or the other. We have to create an organized something, whatever you want to call it, but some kind of governmental structure
Sure.
for a world community that enhances rather than detracts from local autonomy, local control,
Sure.
local whatever. But we can't go back to what God had set up, frankly, or whatever, 2 million years ago, where local worked because everybody was isolated from each other, okay? And the planet, and we didn't, because it didn't have technology and whatever.
Or maybe
We're not
not.
going back to that.
Or maybe not. When you go back, for instance, in Middle East, lots of things. For instance, in case of Persia or Iran, lots of things was done with the help of community support. It was not just lots of things that you see right now is because of I guess it's historical. It comes from the European the style economy, because I don't want to get to that, but I totally agree with that. Jacques Fresco, I talk about him, this guy. He absolutely think that our economy should be based on the resources. The resources, and it's a global resources economy.
But specifically, I think you're going is local control of local resources is so critical. Is what's happened,
Absolutely.
and the G20 has been one of, and the G8 and the IMF have been at the core of globalizing local resources, stealing local resources.
Thank you.
Okay,
You mentioned
frankly,
that.
from out from under, which is really no different than we did to the Native Americans, 200 years
Absolutely.
ago. They've gotten more sophisticated. And they do
The
it
Native
in modern
Americans
ways.
are the pattern, the model.
Yeah.
I get that, and that model, wasn't just done to the Native Americans. It was done to the Native Australians. It was done to the Native New
Absolutely.
Zealanders,
Yep.
and frankly, the Native Japanese, the
Indians.
the Native. One of the things I'm going to say is actually what's kind of been the greatest, biggest opening in my life is to go back and look at the history of when they did it to us Caucasians, white
Sure.
folks. We were like the first ones, frankly, one of the first groups. To be subjugated by this, like thousands of years ago, and now we became the agents the unconscious agents that's gone and done it to the rest of the world. But it was done to us
Thank you.
too, and it was done to us, earlier. Now, and frankly, I'm gonna. The other thing I've learned is how the Jews really were the first. They were conditioned as the first army of these people.
Sure.
And it's not really their fault. It's not an anti-Semitic argument.
No,
here.
No, it has
I have
nothing,
sympathy for them, just like I have sympathy for us white Anglo-Saxon, whatever Caucasian people. And that changed my attitude. And not that, but I have mixed blood. My name is Randall Thompson Ball. All of those are coat of arms English names. But the fact is, I'm a red man in a white man's body. I'm related to Tecumseh, and I really identify much more in my patterns to that. I have this body and biological. So anyway, it's been interesting to carry this around, this red man, white man's body, and I've hated my British background, and you know, those
No,
of us that
don't
watch-
hate that.
Well,
Don't-
but I did. You know, you watch Rob Roy or you watch Braveheart, and you
Sure.
see that insidious, nastiest. It's like the most. I hate that, and I have a part of me that's that.
And
in myself.
this is one of the things that the man behind the closed door do, that you hate your heritage or you hate your
Well, I have that part, and,
background.
it's helped me to learn this information about that part of my heritage to realize that they were just, you know, subjugated and turned into, I love this term, bio-robots. You know, I was watching that. They're bio-robots. Those police, you know, can you get that? I mean,
Interesting.
they're bio-robots, and
Well, in a
they're-
way that we all have been the victim of that,
Right,
that
exactly.
mechanism.
There you go. And that's important to me. Is
Yes.
we're
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 all
gonna torture you for your bubble.
victims
Exactly.
of victims of victims
victims
here.
of victims of victims. Yeah, exactly.
And so it gives us some compassion, because that's what we need.
Well, back to the local economies, I think it's really important that we do take back our local economies, and especially food production. If you look in the state of Ohio where we're at, it's illegal to sell raw milk.
Yeah, I
You
know.
can't do it, and that's
Exactly.
why people buy herd shares.
Yeah.
Is
Exactly.
because it's illegal to buy raw milk, and I think that, among other things, it's just outrageous.
It's totally
It
outrageous.
is.
It makes me angry because is someone else to tell me what I can and can't
Exactly.
eat and consume? And
Right.
not only that, but this is something that human beings have have drank milk straight from a cow's udder for hundreds of
Thousands
thousands
of
of
years.
years.
Exactly, and
And
it's the
how
same-
old is pasteurization?
Right,
I mean, pasteurization is just a product of our modern culture.
Yeah.
Right, but let's
there are
look,
arguments
you know,
as to how healthy it
marijuana
is.
is the same way.
Yeah.
It's a natural product. Hemp, that whole thing, they did that.
Yeah,
hemp,
hemp.
it's the same thing. Actually,
It is.
poppies, if we come back around, is
Yeah.
actually the same thing.
Yeah.
Anything that's made by God, we should have a right to.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about it more, but I don't know. Do we have the clip that says it's not a theory anymore? If we do have it, please run that for us, Sam. Although Glenn Beck is in it, I'm not 100%. No, I'm
not
serious.
sure Glenn Beck is
I
in it.
don't agree with him,
Right.
but
Yeah.
there are interesting stuff that has
Cool.
been discussed in that clip. Interesting.
Cool.
There is a movement growing around the world. Thousands are demanding that the truth be revealed.
There is a big thing that's going to happen in London at this G20, and then they're hiding it, they're camouflaging it, they're not talking about it. Coordination of international regulation. What they are going to do is to put our Fed and our SEC under the control, in effect, of the IMF.
Oh, come on.
They're
You
gonna
believe they'll do this?
That's what was in the draft agenda. They call it coordination of regulation. What it really is putting the American economy under international regulation.
Yeah.
And those people who have been yelling, oh, the UN's going to take over global
Conspiracy
government.
theorists.
They've been crazy, but now they're right.
We are a country that is headed towards socialism, totalitarianism, beyond your wildest imagination. I have to tell you, I'm doing a story tonight that I wanted to debunk these FEMA camps. I'm tired of hearing. You know about them?
Sure.
I'm tired of hearing it. I wanted to debunk them. Well, we've now for several days done research on them. I can't debunk them. How do you know about domestic terror? How do you know about these militia groups? Who are they? You know, what's growing around us? We're in trouble in America, and we're in trouble because of the activities in Washington. They have taught us not to trust them. The Democrats have taught us not to trust the Republicans, and the Republicans have taught us not to trust the Democrats, and so we didn't. And then we realized, oh my gosh, they're both lying to us. They don't actually stand for a single principle.
Another announcement today by President-elect Obama giving new life to the North American Union, a plan by business and political elites to tear down the trade barriers among the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and to create a NAFTA superhighway. all of which to be done without the approval of Congress or the American people. President-elect Obama named a die-hard free